Well, praise God. I'm so glad to come into your home or wherever you might be watching this broadcast. I'm Bishop G, the senior pastor of Changing Your World Church International. Today, we thought we'd do something different. We thought we'd bring some of the partners up to share with you how their life's been changed. You know, everybody needs change in their life. Everybody needs some change in their life. And so there's some partners here that's going to come and share the testimony. Won't you go call someone, tell them Change Your World broadcast is on right now. Our partners getting ready to speak how their life have changed for the better. Let's go in. I want to say welcome to change. Today we're doing something different because I want you to see I'm just not teaching the word of God to people that's not prospering and not being blessed. There's lives that are being changed every time we enter these doors. And a lot of time you come and you watch us by way of television or in the way about internet, but just to hear what's taking place, what's transpiring here, I believe will bless your heart. And today we just pause on the day to bring some partners up, just some of them up today to share with you what's taking place right here in Change. And so today our first guest is coming, our first partner is coming. Her name is Jennifer. She's gonna bless your heart as regard to what she do and what God has blessed her into. Clap the hands for Jennifer. One more time, give Jennifer a hand. All right. Well, Jennifer, tell us something about what you do, how long you've been part of Change Your World, and we're gonna go into your praise report. I think you got something to bless them with.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Bless the Lord, all my soul, and all that is within me. Um, Welcome and hello. I'm Jennifer. I am a school teacher. I'm a band teacher. I've been teaching for 12 years, and God has truly, truly been moving. I mean, just like you're sitting here and I can see you and touch you if I wanted to, God has been that present in my life. I've been to Changing Your World almost 3 years now,
Wow.
and it is mind blowing what is going on here and in my life and in my children's life. I needed somewhere to be fed. When I came here, I was spiritually malnourished.
Wow.
I didn't have, I was on empty. I would ride to church every day and listen to the 94.5 and just weep and just try to get something from, just something. And I would just try. So I prayed and God sent me here. And that was the best thing ever.
Praise God. You know, since the time you've been here, you hear me teach about this is not a church, this is a kingdom of God.
Mm-hmm.
Do you notice the difference between the church and the kingdom now?
Yes, total different. Sometimes we get caught up in tradition or the spirit of tradition. Here, it's just free, just to let the spirit do what it do, and just it's just a freedom in the word, and just to see the word just living. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Amen. Let's talk about. You said you are, is it a band director?
Yes,
What is it? A band
yes.
director. Do you have a little stick
Yes, I have a baton, and
baton that you be?
yes, and I teach the kids how to play. I've been teaching middle school through high school now.
Wow, that incredible.
Mhm.
I thought that when you up there doing this, you doing something, because if I'd be throw the stick at him.
Sometimes you want to do that.
Sometimes you just want to throw the stick at him, but I heard something. Or you guys got a phone call about your band coming to play where?
We got a phone call. Could I just tell you a little of the
Go
backstory?
ahead.
I used to be at another school, and so much happened in my life when I was at that other school. I mean, just detrimental. The school was great, but it was just a lot of memories, a lot of everything. So when he did that series on fear, I laughed because it was just so funny, because when I was going through that, I had to look fear in its face and keep pushing, and it was so it was amazing when there were times I should have been on the floor and broken down or whatnot. I had that strength just to keep
Push.
going. I knew God had my back. So God told me it was time for me to leave that school. I was there for 11 years, built that program, the first African American band director ever at that school. It was amazing, and I left. I stepped out on faith,
On
with
faith.
on faith alone.
So when I'm talking about feed your faith and starve your doubts to death, you really know what that means.
Yes. I stepped out, and everyone was like, "You're crazy. You're at this program. You could do whatever you want. What are you doing?" I said, "God told me, and I'm going. It's time." And I was at peace. Everyone was freaking out around me. So this is my first year at my new school at Ocoee High School, and I teach at Ocoee Middle
Give a shout
School.
out to McCoy High School.
Hey, Ocoee High School, Ocoee Middle School, Bernie, Pickett, whoop whoop. So yeah, so I went to this new school, and everyone's like, "What are you doing?" But but I felt at peace. I felt like God was there. The people around me, men of God. I mean, it's just, you could feel it. So we got a phone call this week from the Hillary Clinton campaign, and they said that they heard about our band, and they wanted our band to perform at the Hillary Clinton rally.
Come
So
on, isn't that incredible? So we're not going to tell you who to vote for.
no, no, we're not going to tell
But
you.
you know.
So we go, and the head band, I'm the associate band director there. So our head band director sat me down. Was like, "It's more." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what?" So then he was like, "Hillary won't be there, but the keynote speaker is President Barack Obama."
That's the keynote speaker.
That's the keynote speaker.
Wow.
So we got invited to go to this rally, and we played for President Barack Obama. Me, my students.
Come on, that's incredible. See, when you said you left that one school and gone to this one, and people are saying, "What are you doing?" You can allow people to talk you out of your dream. They can talk you out of opportunities.
Yeah.
And if you just obey God, follow your heart, you'll be amazed where you land. How it feel,
It was amazing, and he talked to us. He loved our band. We have a snippet on the news, but he talked to us. He turned around. He was like, "Oh, it's a band." And he came back, and he was like doing the whip, and it was crazy. So
the president doing the
yeah, he did the whip. That
the
was
whip, okay.
yeah,
What's
that
the
was
whip?
awesome. Like when you do that, yeah.
All right, come on.
Yes.
We are so excited for Jennifer and to the work she does in her school, also the work she does here, changing your world. Jennifer, maybe there's someone watching by way of internet or television. If they didn't have a place of worship, what would you suggest them to do?
If you didn't have a place of worship, the least you can do is just try. Come on out. Come and be in the atmosphere. I know it's powerful watching where you are right now, but if you just come out and get into this atmosphere, this presence in the kingdom with these people, life changing. Just try it. You have nothing to lose.
Come on, clap your hand for Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer. Leave this. The next person, she's so nervous right now. Shawanda. Shawanda is coming. Can you clap your hand for her as she comes? Oh, amen. Come on, make some more noise. Y'all can do better than that. Now she's nervous sitting up here with me because she always sitting there while I'm teaching the word. And sometimes what God does, God will put you from the back and bring you to the front. Yes, He will. And that's what He's doing in your life.
Yes, yes.
Well, tell us your story. Everybody don't know your story. Tell us your story.
Well, my story is I'm Shawanda, and my story is still being written. God is not done with me, and I'm still building my testimony. Well, I grew up in the church. I grew up knowing the word. I strayed away as I got older, and I chose because God give us a time, opportunity, or a chance to choose. And I chose to go astray and go the wrong way. And in that process, it was a lot of things I have done that's not right. I did a lot of sinning. Um, Drugging it, prostituting, just a lot of things that just wasn't godly. And even though I knew what I was doing and living that life, I knew he was still there, but I chose to ignore him, and he broke me down. So when I came,
You said he broke you down. God have a way of breaking you down.
God have a way of breaking me down.
Maybe there's someone. Maybe there's someone that's hearing your testimony. Your testimony is powerful. Maybe there's someone watching us, and maybe God is breaking them down. So I want you to speak into that camera and just tell them how you felt when God was breaking you down.
Okay, well, when I was being broken down, uh, the enemy was always around me. I was hearing demonic spirits. I was doing devilish things. I I thought I was losing my mind until God intervened. And in the back of my mind, I always knew, if there's a gun being pointed through a window at my head and it moved to the side on the wall and didn't hit me, then I knew it had to be God.
That's God.
If I was in,
That was God.
yes, give him the honor and praise. If I was in a house on some drugs and pills and I was laid out and there was many men around me and he still kept me, even though it was drug me, I knew when I came out clean and untouched, I knew it had to be him as well. When I was out there in the street in a robbery, and didn't realize that I was being set up, and he turned it around for my good, then I knew it was him. When I thought I was trying to do better and get clean and going to these different jobs and everyone turning their head and how people looked at me and still turning and whispering and talking about me, I got downer. But then I looked in the mirror and went to church. At first, I went to a church, and then I got my spirit lifted and got prayed for. But when I went back home, I had to do my own prayer. I had to talk to Jesus for myself. And that was the only way that I was going to actually hear him, because I was ignoring him. It didn't matter if I went to that church and got prayed for. It took me actually standing still and stop moving for him to work on me. And when I heard him, and he told me, I was always with you, even in the time of your wrongdoing. Even when men turned their back on you, I was there. So now, since you chose that road and it didn't work for you, what road are you going to choose now? What is you going to choose, life or death? And I chose the right way. I chose God. And with that, I started growing in my skin. I'm going on 40 years old. And he brought my me back. He brought my looks back. He brought me back as a person, in my mind back, because my mind was straying away. I remember there was time where I was talking to myself. I didn't take a bath for 2 weeks, and I stayed laying up, and I had poops in cups, urinating in cups, because I was losing my mind. I was losing the battle, and he brought me back to those days. Even when I was thinking about slipping, he brought me back to those days, and how he delivered me from sin. And the devil still now, he's hating it. He hated because he keeps throwing, he keeps he keeps jumping in my way, and God's still moving him to the side. I serve a real God, an awesome God, a mighty, powerful God. And I know there's no weapon formed against me will ever prosper. And who's going through the struggle right now, believe it in your heart, and always believe that God is always on your side. He never left you, and he'll never stray. He'll never stray. He'll never will. And God give us choices in life, whether we choose death or whether we choose life. And right now, your struggle is just a testimony being built. God put us through tests and tribulation, and it's really up to us to come through. He's always there. He's always carrying us. We don't see it sometimes because we block him. Just open up, build, break down that wall, break down everything that 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 you think is holding you down. Break it all down. Let be broken. What I'm gonna say first, be broken, hurt, cry, get it all out,
So you did all
clean
of
it
that.
all up.
You did all
Yes,
of that.
I heard it. I cried. I still was going through the struggle, but I realized I was being broken down to be built back up to a God, to be a woman of God.
Let me ask you this question. I Can you remember the day that you cried the longest?
Yes,
Talk about that day.
I was pregnant with my 4 month old baby Jeremiah. Now I was pregnant with him. I came into the church. This time I was dressing really skanky, and I still was going to church at that time. And it was just last year. At that time, I was bringing alcohol in the back of the church, sitting in the back of the church drinking. But I wasn't doing the other stuff that I was doing before. The devil was seeking in a little bit, but then that day, that night, something scared me when they kept saying Jesus, and then my whole body started trembling. I had the bottle. I set it down. I went home after that night, and I told mom I'm going to church. I don't know why I'm going to church, but I'm going to church because I it's like I backslid from him. So when I went to church, I knew I was pregnant, and I was like, God, I remember the time when I told God that instead of me, when I realized I was slipping back to where I was, I said, God, if you give me another child, because they said I couldn't have any more. I said, if you give me another child, I would, I give you my life because I want to change. The only way I can change, I feel, if I have something to change for. And I got pregnant and I didn't realize it. And that night I drunk on the day I found out or whatnot, and then I came back to church, and because he made me realize I gave you what you wanted, not give me what I want. And I realized he wanted me. He wanted me. He wanted his child back. And I broke down that morning, and the whole church couldn't believe it. They was videotaping because they never seen me like that ever. I used to come in there with the attitude.
So you're not talking about this is the kingdom of God. You're talking about another church.
Mhm.
Okay, okay.
Oh no, but then I got it. It's
You
kind
coming
of
here?
yeah, because what the program that I'm in,
Yes.
it's a testimony about that too.
Come
Because
on.
before I was going back down until I stepped into the church. So that was the time that I really gave my life to Christ. I boiled. I threw up. I started throwing up green stuff, then yellow stuff, and then this other stuff that was smelling. Even the other people was closing because it smelled it real bad. They gave me a trash can, and they had to get another small trash can. So whatever it was coming up. Whatever it was, he wasn't done with me when I thought he was. When he said he wanted all, he took it all. He took every nasty thing that I had in me left out. He was cleansing me.
Yes.
He was creating me a clean heart, a right spirit within me. I came to steps, and I still had them because see, I got that time I got saved. A couple of months later, I came to steps. There, I was doing good until different spirits is coming through. See, it's not the place that was making me. It was me still focusing on God, and the spirits that came with people going in and out was leaving these demonic spirits,
Right.
and they was attaching themselves slowly back to me. So my spirit, which wasn't really strong because I was still a baby in Christ, was getting weakening. And I was calling my mom. I was like, Mama, I said, something ain't right. I'm starting to hear and see these shadows again. I said, I'm starting to hear things in the spirit of God. My Bible I'm reading less, and I'm just not feeling him like I was. Then my counselor at the time, thank God for Miss Jessica.
Who is Jessica?
I love her.
You love
Your
Jessica?
daughter.
You know,
Oh,
you
she
know,
broke me down
watch
too.
this. Check this out. My daughter, um, she's anointed, very special young lady, anointed, very special lady. Now, Jessica don't even know the reason why God sent her to that place. God, did you believe God? Do you believe God sent Jessica to where you live?
Yes. Yes.
Talk about that.
Yes, I do believe because the other counselors before her could not handle me. I'm telling you that right now. I always stayed with an attitude. I always was right. Nothing they can say, I still was right. And when they told me no, I'll just do something else, and eventually they'll break. I'll break them basically. I broke all my counselors down.
You broke your counselor.
Always. I was good at what I did.
Lord,
Until one stepped
You know
in
what?
the door and
Check
gave
this
me a
out.
challenge.
This has changed your world. This has changed your world. You know, a lot of time people want to go to now. You can't judge a person by their start. Don't prematurely judge a person by their start because you're gonna be amazed how they gonna land. And so I believe God sent Jessica to that treatment center for you and others. But from the first time you walked through Change Your World doors, I know there has been a tremendously change over your life. Talk
Yes.
about maybe your experience with Jessica.
Well, she's so mean sometimes. I love her when she first came. I looked at her like, her shape is better than mine. I said, And then I said, hi, what's your name? And she said, she was so firm. I said, oh, so I got this one. I thought I did. Clearly, I didn't. When she first, I didn't have her as a counselor, but I broke my counselor down just so they can put me with Miss Jessica, because I wanted to see what I can do with her.
Wow.
She gave me a run for my money. Everything, she hit everything on the head when I was telling her lies about me. She told me everything about me, and she spoke God deeply. And I asked her. The first thing I asked her in that time was like, "Is your mom and dad saved?" I said, "They Christians?" She said, "Yes, my dad a pastor." I said, "Oh my God." I said, "That's why I couldn't." In the back of my head, I said, "That's why I couldn't." I used to talk to her like with a funky attitude, and she just stood on this little nice little smile and was firm in her words.
Wow.
And it was a time where I was like, "Well, God." She know I'm a spiritual person because I speak to her about God, and she was like, "It seemed like you know what you're doing, but you don't." She said, "You need to stop. You need to cut the attitude out." She said, "I can see right through that." She let me know she could, and I'm like, "No, I don't have no attitude." She said, "You might not show it in your words, but you show it in your body. Your body language tell everything. It gives people the wrong impression about you." And I always done that. There was no one, not even my mother, ever told me that.
Wow.
So I didn't really realize that it was doing that because how I act in my hands.
Hand
So
movement.
I have a bad
What about the neck? What about the neck?
I had
Can you twist
that.
it?
Yes, I had that. And the eyes and my lips going like this always. So I had that little side Elvis kind of pressing look. And she seen, but she just basically seen right through me. The things that I done with the other counselors, I couldn't do. She tried. She building me. She was building me up, and everything she said was true. And I ignored her still a little bit. She told me I had to start saying no. Focusing on myself, focusing on my goal, focusing on God. And I told her, "Yes, I am," and she'll be like, "No, you're not."
You know what? There might be someone watching this broadcast right now that is at a job like that and struggling. I don't want to be here. I don't want to go there. God sent you different places for reasons. And so
Yes.
learn to how to embrace right where you are
Yes.
because this is true ministry. What Jessica does is true ministry.
Yes.
And So
she have changed a lot of our lives, and every counselor get talked about except for Miss Jessica. Wow. Now you had the ones she had to break down as well. I mean, one get up in her face, and she ain't one
about that.
She's not about that. You won't get in that one face. But she broke a lot of us down, and they love seeing her. Wow. Everyone want to follow her. I told her, she's younger than me, and I want to be just like that. I want to be independent in God, in life. I don't want to, even if I'm struggling, I don't want to look it. And wow. her light shines so bright in there, even when it's dim. When she's come there, even in the morning.
Wow, what a word from Changing Your World Partners. Listen, there's so many of you all tell me, Bishop, I'll see you on television. You're doing a wonderful job. Then there are those of you who are coming through and seeing what God is doing here at Changing Your World. There's a place for you. You know, let me help somebody that's watching the end of this broadcast. Many people believe that they're signed to a building. Well, my grandmother go to this church. My grandmother's going to church for years. You're not assigned to your grandmother's church. Jesus said, my sheep know my voice, and the stranger they will not follow. You are signed to a voice, and the voice that you're signed to is designed to help change your life. Come on, meet us here, right here at Change Your World. God has a great blessing for you. Until next time, go to our website, cywtoday.org, and see what God is doing. Be blessed. This series this month is entitled, Thou Shalt Not Fear. Help me say, Thou Shalt Not Fear. I'm not shutting down, I'm not quitting, and I'm not giving up. And I refuse to give in, and I would not allow fear to grip my heart. And if you learn how to praise God in the midst of storms, and begin to praise God when there is no storm, I'm here to tell you, God will jump over other people to bless you.
To purchase today's powerful message, visit our website at cywtoday.org or simply call 407-486-0563. Don't watch us grow, come grow with us. Call 407-486-0563. Victory in the Word, Wednesday at 7 p.m. Morning of Faith, Sundays at 11 a.m. Connect with us at cywtoday.org.